Are you prepared to live out your final years all alone in the house you're in right now? Let me share a shocking statistic. Here in the United States, nearly 1 in 3 Americans aged 65 and older lives alone. For women 75 and older, that number jumps to almost half. This isn't someone else's story, friends. This is your story. You may be living with your spouse right now, sharing your life, but the statistics are cold and hard. One spouse almost always passes away first, and the one left behind will live alone for an average of 7 to 10 years. Many of us have these comforting daydreams. Oh, I'll live with my kids. I'll just move into a nice retirement community. I'll be fine right here. As a doctor who has seen hundreds of families navigate this, I have to tell you these are dangerous illusions. Live with your kids? Are you truly prepared to live in a single guest room, walking on eggshells, feeling like a burden? Go to a nursing home? You often can't get in when you're healthy, and by the time you need to go, you may have already lost the mental capacity to make that decision. And just dying here is a lonely death, undiscovered for 3 or 4 days. Is that the final chapter you want for your life? Here is the nightmare no one talks about. More than half of all seniors who live alone report going a full week, without speaking to a single person. 1 in 3 doesn't leave their home even once a month. Do you know what this means? It's a life that's already over, even if you're still breathing. You see, the problem isn't getting old alone. The real problem is becoming old, unprepared, and isolated. That tiny studio apartment becomes a prison. The quiet country cottage becomes an isolation chamber. The luxury facility robs you of your freedom. Today, I'm going to give you a survival strategy. This isn't just real estate advice. I'm going to show you 3 specific places where you can live alone in your later years and live with dignity, connection, and real happiness. This could be the most important decision of your life. If what I'm saying is already hitting home for you, if this is a fear you've had, please take a moment and just type yes in the comments below. It lets me know you're here, and it shows others they are not alone. Please stay with me. You must watch until the end to get the real, life-changing answers. Alright, so let's get into the heart of it. To show you what I mean, let me tell you 3 stories. 3 real-life examples I've seen in my practice. The first 2 are the mistakes, the traps we all fall into, but the third is the answer. First, let's talk about the story of Judith. This is the first and most common mistake. Judith was 73 when her husband passed away, and she wanted what we all think we want: peace, quiet, and independence. Her children begged her, "Mom, please come live with us." But she refused. She was a proud woman. She told them, "I don't want to be a burden. I can take care of myself." So she chose this beautiful little house way out in the country. The pictures were lovely. The air was clean. It was quiet, no one to bother her, and for the first month it truly was peaceful. She'd wake up, walk in her yard, tend to her small garden, and read in the evenings. She called her son and said, This is true freedom." But freedom, when it's mixed with total isolation, becomes something else. After 3 months, things started to change. She would go all day, then 2 days without hearing a single human voice. She told me later she started to forget what her own voice sounded like. That silence stopped being peaceful. It became terrifying. When night came, the silence was so complete that every small sound was amplified. The wind, a branch scraping the roof, the crickets. She couldn't sleep. The lack of human contact started to feel like a heavy blanket, suffocating her. Then the practical reality set in. It was a 40-minute drive, one way, just to get a gallon of milk. 40 minutes. She felt a tightness in her chest one afternoon, but she thought, "Oh, it's just anxiety." She was too afraid to make that long, lonely drive. One night, the pain was different. It was crushing. She was terrified. She called 911, but out there in the country, it took the ambulance 50 minutes to find her house. Thankfully, it wasn't a heart attack. But Judith realized something that night. She thought, "If I stay here, I will truly die here all alone." She was diagnosed with severe depression just weeks later and moved back to the city within the year. She told me, and I'll never forget it, "Doctor, living alone is fine, but being left alone, that's unbearable." Part 2. The second story is about David, and this is the other extreme. David lost his wife at 68. His kids were worried, and frankly, so was he. He didn't want to be a burden like Judith, so they all chipped in for this high-end assisted living facility. You've seen the brochures. They look like 5-star resorts. He paid a hefty buy-in, over $40,000 just to get in the door, and he thought, "This is it. I'm safe. They will manage everything." And at first, it was heaven. just like the brochure promised. The facilities were beautiful. They cooked his meals, 3 a day. They cleaned his room. There were nurses on staff 24/7. The emergency call system was perfect. He didn't have to worry about a single thing. But as human beings, especially as we get older, safety is not the only thing we need. We need purpose. We need choice. After about 6 months, David told me he felt this strange, creeping feeling. He felt like he was disappearing. Everything, and I mean everything, was run by a schedule. 7 a.m., breakfast. 10 a.m., light exercise. 2 p.m., an organized program like bingo or a movie. 6 p.m., dinner. He had no choice, no say in what he ate or when he ate or who he saw. And worst of all, he was surrounded only by old people. There were no young people, no children laughing, no energy. The only topics of conversation, day in and day out, were hospitals, pills, and blood pressure. He sat in my office one day, and he looked so defeated. He asked me this, "Doctor, am I living, or am I just in a very comfortable, very expensive room, waiting to die?" In the end, he walked away. He left that $40,000 buy-in on the table, and he got out. He told his kids, and this is the warning for all of us, that place, it was a safe place to die. It just wasn't a place to live. But then there's the third story. This is the one I want you to remember. This is the story of Susan. Susan lost her husband at 71. But Susan was different. She didn't react with fear. She responded with a plan. She scouted locations. She researched. She actually went and talked to people who were living in the kinds of places she was considering. She didn't just look at brochures. And her choice surprised her family. It wasn't a big house. It was a small, about 600 feet, one-bedroom apartment in a simple suburb. But this apartment was the center of what I call the golden system. Listen to this. It was a 5-minute, easy walk to the local senior center. It was a 3-minute walk to a beautiful, safe park. And it was a 10-minute walk to the grocery store. She didn't buy a house. She bought a lifestyle. She bought access. She designed a life where connection and activity were not just possible, but easy. Let me tell you what her day looks like. At 8 a.m., she wakes up and walks to the senior center. She's there by 8:10. She takes a yoga class with her friends. At 11 a.m., she has lunch with them right there in the center's cafeteria, a hot, nutritious meal that costs her just a few dollars. In the afternoon, she takes a slow walk in the park. She nods and says hello to the other regulars, the other people who walk at the same time every day. In the evening, maybe she takes a calligraphy class at the community center, or has tea with 2 other women in her building who also live alone. She lives by herself, but she is never lonely. She told me this, and it's so powerful. "Doctor, I live by myself, but I'm not lonely. Every day I have people to see, and I have a place to go. My apartment is small, but my life has gotten so much bigger." So, what is the lesson here? The lesson from Judith, David, and Susan is crystal clear. Living alone and being isolated are 2 completely different things. Judith was physically isolated. David was emotionally and spiritually isolated. He lost his freedom. Susan lives alone, but she is perfectly connected. The French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre famously said, "Hell is other people." And when you're young, busy, and stressed, that can feel true. The demands, the expectations. But as I've seen in my practice, in old age, that saying must be completely reversed. The absence of other people, that is the real hell. No one to see you, no one to remember you, no one to talk to you. The German philosopher Martin Heide defined humans as being in the world. It means we don't exist separately from the world. We exist within it through our relationships. That's what Susan has. Modern psychology proves this, and the numbers are terrifying. A landmark study from Brigham Young University followed 300,000 people, and they found that social isolation increases your risk of early death by 50%. Let me put that in perspective for you. That is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. It is worse for your health than obesity. It is more dangerous than high blood pressure. Loneliness isn't just a feeling. It is a disease that kills you. We can see it on a brain scan. MRs of socially isolated seniors show that their brains actually shrink. The hippocampus, your memory center, withers. Your stress hormones, cortisol, go up. Your happiness hormones, serotonin, go down. Your immune system tanks. But the brains of active social seniors stay lit up. They keep growing. Your brain can change and improve at 70, 80, even 90 if it is connected. The conclusion is obvious. The secret, the medicine, is this. The place where you live determines how you live. Part 3. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Doctor, this is all very interesting, but I'm not alone. I'm living with my husband. I'm with my wife. I need you to listen to me very, very carefully. This is especially for those of you who are living with a spouse right now. You must prepare. Why? Because, as we discussed, the statistics are cold, hard facts. One of you almost certainly will pass away first, and the one left behind will be alone for an average of 7 to 10 years. Here in the United States, because women have a longer life expectancy, it's most often the wife who is left behind. Nearly one half of all American women over 75 live completely alone. This is not a maybe. This is an unavoidable reality. So, you must prepare for it now. And here is the single biggest mindset shift I need you to make. You shouldn't be planning for a house where 2 people can live together. You should be planning for a house where 1 person can live well all by themselves. This is a challenge for our entire society. We are all aging. We can't just rely on our kids who have their own lives and jobs. The government can't solve it all. Other countries, they're ahead of us. Japan, the Netherlands, Denmark, they are building communities designed for connection, not just for storage. So we have to start asking different questions. We have to change the question. Stop asking, where will I live alone? Start asking, how can I live alone but stay connected? Stop asking, how big will my house be? Start asking, how warm will my community be? The answers are already here, which brings me to the 3 specific solutions I promised you. All right, so now for the practical, life-changing answers. Solution number 1. This is the Susan model. The first best place to live alone in old age is a small apartment. I'm talking about 550 to 850 square feet that is within a 10-minute walk of a good, active senior center. Why this specific combination? Let's break it down. First, the size. It's just right. If your house is too big, like the one you're in now, it's a nightmare to clean and manage. The empty rooms don't feel like freedom. They just echo. They make you feel lonelier. But if it's too small, like a tiny 300-foot studio, it's suffocating. There's no room for your hobbies, no space to even have one friend over for tea. 550 to 850 feet, a 1-bedroom or a small 2-bedroom, that is the sweet spot. But the real key, the magic, is the senior center. For a senior living alone, a good senior center is a lifeline. It has everything. It has your morning yoga class. It has a lunch program where you get a hot meal for a few dollars. It has the afternoon art class, the computer class, and the book club. But most importantly, it has people. It has the faces you see every single day, the friends you say hello to, the companions you laugh with. This is the single most powerful vaccine against the disease of loneliness. A senior center isn't just a building, it's a mini society. It gives you a role. It gives you relationships. It gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning. So, here is your action. Go to Google today, search for Senior Center and your town's name. Call them, ask what programs they have, then go visit tomorrow. Just look around, see what it feels like, and then sign up for 1 class. Just 1. That one small action will change everything. Solution number 2. This one is all about mental and physical health. The second best place to live alone is a ground floor or second floor apartment that is right next to a beautiful, safe park. Why this? Let's talk about the 2 keys. Key number 1, the park. When you live alone, the single most important thing you can do for your health, more important than any medicine I can prescribe, is to walk every single day. When a park is right outside your door, walking isn't a chore. It's not something you have to drive to. It's a joy. Sitting on that park bench, feeling the sun, hearing the birds, just watching people go by, that is what keeps us human. And key number 2, the low floor. Friends, this is crucial. As we age, our mobility changes. You need to be on a floor that you can easily walk up to if the elevator is broken. A ground floor or second floor unit is perfect, even if your knees aren't what they used to be. It is also, very practically, much safer in an emergency like a fire or a power outage. The philosopher NZ said, "All truly great thoughts are conceived by walking." It's not just exercise, it's thinking, it's feeling, it's confirming you're still alive. Psychologists know this. Just 30 minutes of walking in nature can reduce the symptoms of depression by 50%. It lowers your blood pressure, it cuts those stress hormones, and most of all, while you're walking, you are not isolated. You see other people, you nod, you are connected to the world. So here's your action for this one. Build this one habit. Walk in that park at the exact same time every single morning. 8 a.m. Every day you'll start seeing the same faces, the same woman walking her dog. After a week, you say hello. In a month, you're friends. The relationships will happen all by themselves. Part 4. Solution number 3. This one is about family and boundaries. The third best place to live alone is in the same neighborhood as your children, but about a 10-minute walk away. Why this specific distance? I call it the just right distance. It means you are alone, but not completely alone. You are close enough for an emergency, but you are fully independent in your daily life. Why not in the same house? Let me tell you about the philosopher Schopenhauer's hedgehog's dilemma. On a cold winter's night, a group of hedgehogs huddle together for warmth, but when they get too close, they prick each other with their sharp spines. So they move apart. But when they move apart, they get cold and they start to die. After trying and failing, they find the perfect distance, close enough to share warmth but far enough apart not to hurt each other. Your relationship with your adult children is exactly the same. Too close, living in the same house, and you hurt each other. You're walking on eggshells. They lose their freedom and you lose yours. Too far, living in another state, and you're cut off. You freeze. They can't get to you in an emergency. You can't share daily life. 10 minutes. That's the perfect distance. A distance you can walk, but don't have to every day. A distance where they can be at your door in a crisis, but can't barge in on your daily life. It's the perfect balance between independence and a safety net. It's respect, not clinging. So, here's your action. Have an honest conversation with your children. Sit them down and say, let's not plan to live together. Let's plan to live near. Tell them you want to live your own life, but be close enough to help each other. That one conversation, friends, that one conversation could save all of you. It's time to act. Right now, the preparation starts with knowledge, and today, you have the knowledge. Now all that's left is the action. So first, go online and just look. Research homes near your local senior center. See what's available. Second, scout out those low-floor apartments near a safe park. Go for a walk there yourself. See how it feels. And third, call your children. Find a time to have that honest, loving conversation about the future. A home in your final years, friends, isn't defined by its size. It's defined by its warmth. It's about finding that place where you can be alone, but not lonely. Small, but not suffocating. Quiet, but not isolated. And finding that home, finding that perfect place, isn't luck. It's preparation. Remember what we talked about at the beginning, that fear. A prepared life lived alone is not something to fear. It can be the most free, the most fulfilling, and the most dignified life of all. As we wrap up, I have one last request. We've explored 3 critical strategies today, 3 paths to a safe and connected future. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now I have one important question for you. What is the one action you will start to explore after watching this? Please go to the comments below. It's simple. Just type the number. Number 1, if you're going to start researching a home near a senior center. Number 2, if you're going to scout that low-floor home near a park. Or number 3, if you are making a promise to talk to your children. Your comment is a promise to yourself, but it also shows others in our community that they are not alone in making this plan. Let's prepare together, and let's age together with wisdom. And if you found real value, and I hope some peace in our time together, please show your support by giving this video a like. To make sure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing, it's joining a community, a family, dedicated to living our best lives together. And finally, think of one person. Just one person in your life who needs to hear this message. Please share it with them. You might just change their life. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Until the day you can live alone without ever being lonely, I'll be here with you. I truly wish for your later years to be peaceful and filled with dignity.